Surprise, surprise, the king is back, and he's back again with another episode of South Stand Signings. Yes, of course, that is the show where we go through every transfer rumour that has been linked with the mighty Whites of Leeds United, and we give it a cop or a drop. And boy, is there a lot to discuss. Is Cunha off the table? Is Matias Pereira on his way to becoming a peacock? Are we finally gonna land our man from Rangers? Leeds prepare a swoop for Sampdoria's Iman Coley, and Chelsea get royally clickbaited by Leeds United. All of that and more coming at you after the break. And we start off with Lewis clickbait from Chelsea, and what a signing this is. Our youth team is vastly and very quickly becoming one of the most decorated, lucrative teams you could find. You got your Cody Dramas, you got your Joffy Gelhards, you got your Sam Greenwoods, and now finally the icing on the cake, Lewis clickbait. And let's just hope that he impresses with Sam Jackson's under-23 team, because if he does, then it won't be too long until he is potentially called up into that first team, and I can only imagine the player we could have on our hands if Bielsa is to transform him. And look, I've spoken to some Chelsea fans over the past couple of days, because I'm going to be real, I didn't really know too much about this guy, and you know, I heard his name touted about a couple of times, but I didn't really know anything about him. But a good friend of mine, a good source close to the club, informs me that he is indeed one of their brightest prospects. Of course, he was just called up to their under-23 team, obviously being under the age of 20, so that's obviously a big feat for him, in which they finished second in the first Premier League 1 division. Now, is that enough to prove that he is going to do it in the big team, in the first team? No, of course it's not. But he's only going to develop better and better under Bielsa's tutelage, under Sam Jackson's tutelage. And boy, this could be one to watch out for. So for me, I know it's already done, but I'm giving it a big fat cop. Moving swiftly on next to my biggest target of the window, the man I think we should move heaven and earth to get. It is Matias Pereira from, of course, West Bromwich Albion. The guy is saucy. He reminds me very much of a Tyler Roberts type of player. His technical ability is second to none. The little flicks, the tricks, he's got it all. And more than that, he's got the intelligence, he's got the match sharpness, and he's just a guy who can change the game on a knife edge. And again, I know I say it with everyone, if he was doing that in a Sam Allardyce West Brom team, imagine what could be unleashed of him in a Bielsa side. It would be simply mesmeric. Imagine RAPHINHA on one wing, Jack Harrison on the other wing, Matias Pereira in the middle. Oh my word, it is just saucy, sexual, and damn right orgasmic. Now, the only thing holding up this transfer is that the player has stated that he does want to play European football this season, and that kind of pushed away our chances of getting him. However, he has come back, he has snapped back, and he said, although I would like to play European football this season, I do very much fancy a move to Elland Road, potentially seeing that there is a 2 to 3 year plan to get into Champions League football. And if he can be the man to help push us over the line, then not only will he be playing European football, he will be guaranteed game time in a side that is playing European football. But the question on everyone's lips is it a cop or is it a drop? Now look, I feel like it would be very, very difficult to get him over the line. It always is that way when you're getting players from other English clubs. You get an English club tax. Furthermore, the guy's already stated that he wants to play European football. Everyone under the sun wants him right now, and he's pretty damn cheap. However, with all of this in mind, I feel like Orta has the pulling power to get him over. You saw what he did with Junior Firpo, where he went out and isolated for 10 whole days to get the deal done, while everyone else wanted to do it on Zoom. This guy, I have so much faith in him, so much trust that he will pull through, that this, for me, is a big, fat, stinking cop. And from one Brazilian starlet to the other, of course, yet again, we are talking about Matias Matias Cunha, the man Bielsa had on his radar. The man Bielsa wanted, ironically, I think he wanted him more than Matias Pereira. However, this one, it's dripping away as the days go on. It's like a faulty tap. Each day it goes on and on and on. There's less and less liquid, less and less juice in the tank. And I feel like he'd be great in that Rodrigo role. I don't know if we're going to push Rodrigo on. He did have a very good end to the season. So maybe that's part of the thinking. Maybe that's why we're not putting so much money down, because we think he'll get in the way of Rodrigo. Maybe he could play up front and replace BAMFORD. Maybe he could play in that Tyler Roberts role instead of Matias Pereira. So maybe that has something to do with why it's been dragging on for so long. Maybe it's the fact that he's representing Brazil in the Olympics right now. It could be a plethora of things. However, I'm not confident at all, because Fabrizio Romano has come out and he said there are no advanced talks between the teams and the negotiations are looking very, very difficult. So unfortunately, although I would very, very, very much like to see how he could play in a Bielsa team, how he could adapt to the Premier League in general, for me, I'm going to have to rate it on the cop to drop rating a 4 out of 10. So unfortunately, it is just a drop. And speaking of things that could grow on me, it could be Iman Coley, the Sampdoria centre-half. Leeds apparently interested in swooping in with a £10 million purchasing fee. Of course, we're linked with Newcastle and West Ham, apparently the 3 big horses in the race for him. For those of you that don't know him, because it is a very recent rumour, he is 28 years old. He is a left-footed centre-half for Sampdoria, a Sampdoria side which finished 9th in Serie A last year, where the man made 28 appearances. And he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. He's experienced. He's done it in the top flight before. He's played all over the gaff, to be honest. He was at Genk before this. But does it make any sense for Leeds to sign an older centre-half? Maybe if you think Cooper's going to be pushed on and you want someone to fit in that role as a rotation player. But let's be real, we got enough defenders out there. We got Llorente, we've got Cooper, we've got Virgil van Strijk, and of course we got Robin Koch. We've got 4 top centre-halves there. I don't think it really makes any sense for Coley to sign. I could be wrong. Maybe he could be versatile enough to fit in at left-back as well if Junior Firpo is out. I'm not so sure about it myself, and that is why for me it's going to have to be a drop. Hey, maybe if more information comes out in the next few days, then I could change my mind about it. However, for now, Iman Coley is a drop. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. I am very intrigued to see what you guys think about these signings. Do you give them a cop or do you give them a drop? And of course, most importantly, give them that 1 to 10 cop to drop ratio. Rating, and let me know who your main target of the window is. But anyway, guys, that has been all for now. It is beautiful to see your faces yet again. I'm sorry I've been slightly inactive, but that is all going to be fixed now. I'm in a new gaff for the remaining month and a half, and boy, it's time to get the grind back going again. There's a lot of Leeds United content to talk about, a lot of football content to talk about, and I cannot wait for you guys to join me in the experience. But for now, guys, thank you ever so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.